So, hello. I'm trying something different. Let's say that, like, first as an introduction, um, I kind of think this kind of content that I'm now doing, like this, I don't even know what to call it. It will definitely be in the title. I kind of consider this stuff clickbait because everyone is currently doing it, so it's just jumping onto the train. But I feel like I should probably say it, like, obviously not because I'm a content creator, because I have a really small channel and the majority of people don't even care about me, but like, to just give the basis, because I'm in this game now for 10 years as well. um and yeah, there's a lot of stuff going very wrong. So first, I'm not sure, I'm probably just going to put some gameplay in the background that you have like something appealing to look at rather than my desktop. And yeah, I don't even know. Like, sorry. I'm very prepared for this kind of content. I actually wrote more or less a script on work about the things that need to be changed in my opinion. So I probably stop talking out of my ass and just start. So the first thing that obviously a lot of people started is the grind. Like, the grind, I don't know. It's weird. It definitely needs to be better. Like, I can definitely agree. Like, I'm in a position where I have 15 to 1600 vehicles. So obviously for me it's like, I don't care. And then being one of Gaijin's slaves getting SL and vehicles obviously doesn't make it that much worse for me. But for like the general people that start out in the game, like my friends as an example, that start out in the game, they don't know what to grind. They play, as an example, they play Sweden for ages and they're not getting any research done anymore since they reached specific BRs. And it just needs to be changed. Like, the grind at the start, when we started the game, it was pretty okay. Like, you reached the top tier that was then the T32, the mouse, the, I think, IS4M. You reached that relatively quickly. Like, it was no problem, and it was just fun, and everything was just working, and whatever. Like, you literally, you came into the game, we're like, oh yeah, great, let's play some more fun. Let's spend like my 10, 20, 50 rounds, I don't fucking care. And it was great. And nowadays, like, even a person like me who has, let me quickly double check that, I currently have 5,621 hours, and I can barely get myself to play 5 rounds a day. Like, barely. If in the worst case scenario, I play two, maybe one, or don't even start it. I didn't play the game for like 2 weeks now. And then I have situations, where you have, like, I don't know, you have like one or two friends, or you streaming, and then you play like 10 rounds and 20 rounds, and it's like, yeah, great. And I don't know, I don't even know where I want to go with that point. But definitely, so the first point is they should increase the RP gain across the board, like for every single vehicle. It doesn't even need to be like plus 50%. That's way too much. It definitely, it's still a free to play game. They still kinda need to earn their money from us because it's a free to play game, even though I'm not too sure about that. Um, but yeah, they obviously they need to have like some reason to sell their stuff. So it's kind of legitimate, but the grind is just absolute garbage. So they should increase it by like 5%, maybe. It would already help. Maybe 10%, maybe even 15. Like, I wouldn't go further than that, but just having more in RP gain that you actually get somewhere. So that will be the first point. The next point is that, I'm not sure if they ever stated it or if it's somewhere written, but there's definitely, I don't even know how to say it, like an artificial reduction of RP gain at certain times. Like, as an example, again, same friend actually. Um, when we started out, we both started with US and absolutely grinded the absolute shit out of it. And when he now plays the US, even though he didn't play it for a long time, no matter how good he plays, no matter how many kills he gets, like, he sometimes gets like 7-8 kill games with an Abrams, with the very first one, and then he gets like 700 RP, like for the next vehicle, which is just absolutely like, what the fuck are you supposed to do with 700 RP when the next vehicle costs like, I don't know, 310,000 or like more? So it's just absolute ridiculous. So that definitely needs to change. Like this invisible barrier needs to be removed as well. And the next point, that is something that I feel very, very often, is which actually doesn't have something to do with the RP, but with the SL. Like the repair costs are already completely fucking ridiculous, but that's not even my main my main point. My main point is the crew costs. Like, why do we have to basically, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know where to make this point. Like, the problem is, every time you buy a vehicle, you need to kind of school the crew on the vehicle. Okay, yeah, I can understand that, but it should be paid maybe once, like at the start. You get the vehicle, okay, you pay like 1 million for the vehicle, let's say the Challenger 2, and then you pay, let's say 250k for the crew, and that's it. You don't need to crew or like relearn the crew every time you change the slot. Like, I have a very specific system so that I don't run into this issue too much. Like, from the left to the right, you start with a light tank, a medium tank, a heavy tank, or then MBTs, then an ATGM or like anti-tank tank destroyers, 1 or 2 SPAAs, a helicopter, and then 3 planes. Done. But the problem is that if you didn't do this from the get-go, you will, at certain BRs, will just run into the problems that like, oh shit, okay, I want to bring this, so I need to pay another crew, so I'm losing again 200k, but I don't have the money, so I can't bring this vehicle, and then this kind of problem starts. Or if I get vehicles from Gaijin, as an example, from the leasing every month, and as an example, I got the MiG-29. It's like, oh yeah, okay, I have to pay like 350k or even more to just put it into a slot, and my SL are not magically getting millions every round, so that is a really big concern, like the SL problem. Then obviously, the repair cost is a bit, I don't know, like obviously it's again, it's a free-to-play game, so they kind of need to have like an in-game money value thingy, fucky, whatever. So that's the SL, and having like repair costs for certain vehicles or ammunition replenishments, whatever. Okay, I can kind of understand this, but there are vehicles where it's just absolutely retarded, where you pay like 20, 30. They're like, let me quickly actually click onto War Thunder. Okay, I just crashed. Okay, fair play. Whatever. But like, as an example, the HMS Hood or something, which costs like, I don't know, 40, 50k, and you're thinking like, okay, I'm first of all, naval is dead anyway, but you spawn with a ship, and I don't know, like you drive around, you die instantly, as an example. Like, let's say bad gameplay, I suck at naval, whatever, drive forward, I die, 50k are just gone. And even if I perform well, I hardly get in one round the amount of money to even make the vehicle be able to be played. So the problem is, there are vehicles that you want to play. Like, as an example, I'm a British main, so I want to play the Challenger. But if it's not feasible, if I can repair my vehicle every round, so like, let's say I need to kill 4 people for 1 death, but I can't get this quote every match, then it's not worth it to play the vehicle, because I'm literally playing myself into bankruptcy. And this is a thing that shouldn't be there. Like, you shouldn't be punished to play your vehicles. Kind of, if you get my point. Good, that was this point. I go for premiums. Okay, the next point is with premiums. I don't mind that people buy premiums, but like, again, it's kind of what they plan on, what they live for. But one of the problems, in my opinion, is I very often meet people, like, I personally love to play 10.3. So very, very often I meet people, especially on the Russian teams and on the US teams, that they drive with like a BT5 and T26, like this very early stuff. Maybe the Gas, the Maxim. They just drive from A to B, and you're wondering like, okay, why is this guy on 10.3 driving around with this fucking milk truck? And then you just check like their profile, and it's like 1.0 reserve, and then KA50, SU25K, like this kind of stuff, which is just completely retarded. Like, why is someone allowed who has no idea about the gameplay, who is probably just joined and just wants to, I don't know. It's weird. Like on the one side, I can understand people that come into the game where like, oh, okay, I don't care about World War II, I care about the modern stuff. But the problem is, you need a set of skills to survive in these BRs. Because at 10.0, even though the Su-25 and the A-10 are absolutely ridiculous overpowered with their missiles and everything that they have, that like regular tech tree vehicles sometimes are just completely curve stomped, you still shouldn't give a new player, especially for $60, give him the ability to like come into the game and then potentially curve stomp or just getting absolutely smashed. And the second point is actually what mostly happens. Like most of the time, especially what I see the most with the Leopard player base, with the Panzer Battalion 1, 2, 3, you see like a team of like 10, 12 of these tanks, and then you have like 4 regular tanks, and you are 100%, or like you can say with like a 70 to 80% guarantee that they will go into the fight, don't know what they do, they just drive straight to a point or to a certain position, get one-shotted, and just leave. And then you're sitting there in a team where like 6-7 people left in the first 5 minutes. That's not going to help the morale of the rest of the team, because the people then will check their scoreboard. Let's say you dive in as a regular player, like as a proper player. You die, you check the scoreboard, and you see like that the majority of your team just left, and then the majority of these people are the premium players, and you're like, oh, great. So why should I respawn now, like just to be cannon fodder of the other team? Like fighting back has little to no means at this point, because you're just like 6 people behind, and no matter how good you are, like there are definitely people that are good enough to manage to outdo these, but the majority player just isn't. And if you have a slightly experienced team on the other side, you're just completely fucked. So that's obviously one point. And my solution, like, I'm not just going to state facts that are shit and then leave it there. My solution would be that players should be only allowed from their current highest vehicle. Let's say you just started, so your highest tier in theory is a research. Oh my god. Sorry, I need to think before I talk. So your first vehicle is a reserve. Then you should only be allowed to buy maximum tier 1 or tier 2. So obviously you go very, very quickly into tier 1. So you could then buy a tier 3 premium. But you need to reach then the basically tier 2 to even go further than this. So you have the need to kinda continue. Like obviously you could then just play with the premium vehicle you bought, but you can't just straight up buy a King Tiger, a Leopard. You basically, for Germany, you probably need to buy a yeah, I don't know, Panzerkämpfer 2 DRK, and then if you played with it a couple of games and you maybe researched something and have like some idea of a gameplay, then you can buy like a Panzer III N or like the Panzerbefehlswagen 4. And then from this point on, again, you play, grind, put like your 20, 50 hours into the game. Hopefully not, but yeah. And then buy the, whatever, like you buy whatever is available. So yeah, it should be like this, that you can't just come into the game and it's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to buy 10.0 because meh. It's just no. It's very much no. So that's that. Okay, now I need to think, yeah, I have only one more point, actually. Sorry, I need to quickly recheck it. I have actually 2 points. So the next point would be map design. The map design, to say it nicely, is absolute shit. You have, like, I would say 80, if not more, percent of the maps are just not fun to play. The majority of the maps, you spawn, you drive a couple of meters, you drive up a hill, you barely leave your spawn, and people can already fire inside of it, or just like position themselves that they can kind of crossfire your path to the next point, and it's just not fun. Like, there are certain maps, like as an example, there was this I don't know how it's called, sorry. It's like the snow map, where in the middle is like a big dome, and outside are like basically the 4 helipads, relatively close and like in distance to each other. And you basically have this map, and obviously you could drive through on the road, which is more or less covered. But the majority of people, because it's the faster way, and you need to get fast towards the objectives, or prevent the enemy from going fast to the objectives, or otherwise you will lose as well. So people drive over the hill, but the second they drive over the hill, someone on the other side is already just waiting for them and just blasting them away. So that's obviously not great. So yeah, so as an example, like, I don't know why we just spawn sometimes in the middle of nowhere, like on the Poland map as an example. If you spawn on the left side of a map, so let's say so if you want to drive to B, the river's on the left side, and you have the sniper hill, which is famous to kill everything that drives towards B, C, A. What is the hill? C. It's C, I think it's C, whatever. Yeah, like as an example, it's just an open field, so as the enemies can drive up the hill, cap the point, and shoot into your spawn. Great, not fun. Then you have Sniper Hill. If someone goes to Sniper Hill, you can almost completely shut down the path up the hill. You can also shut down the path into the city, into the hopefully B cap, because I'm absolutely not sure. So it's like you have too many positions on these kind of maps where you can completely shut down the enemy team. And if it would be the middle of a map with a big hill where everyone can see you, but you can see everyone, and it's just it obviously gives you an advantage, but obviously it gives you a disadvantage as well. Then I would say, like, okay, you can kind of think about it. Like, I still stay with the point that a spawn needs defense. It needs even natural, like, hills or whatever, or you wouldn't just have tanks spawn in the middle of nowhere. You would have like a fob, like some sort of defensive structure where your tanks can take cover in, perhaps even repair or replenish ammunition. As an example, for SPIA players like myself, if you get maps where you have only one cap, like the battle bullshit, and you drive something like the Type 93, the Ocelot, even better in quotation, SBAs like the Marksman, like, you run out of ammunition relatively quickly, and if you can't shoot anymore, you have 2 options. Option 1 is drive towards the cap and pray that no one kills you on the way there, or inside of it, or afterwards. And option 2 is to just J out. And then obviously from this path on you have again 2 options: respawn or just leave. And it shouldn't be like that. Like, the spawn, you should have like 2, maybe 3 or 4 different spawn points, so that if someone tries to shut down your spawn or spawn camp you, that you can just jump to a different spawn and maybe even outflank them or just plan your attack differently. Then the spawn should have like a repair area where you can repair, replenish, do whatever. I would even say replenish your FPE. Then again, FPE should be, and parts, shouldn't be unlocked. They should be immediately from the get-go free. Like, this time for real. They should be free, but whatever. Yeah. Good. That was that. Okay, I wrote a little point here, which is probably never going to happen, but it's worth mentioning. A lot of people complain about the BR spreading. Obviously, it's not fun. It's just not working in most cases. And one of the solutions from my side would be that instead of the +1, -1, like a 10-0 can fight against 9-0s and 11-0s, we should just make it to 0.7. That will probably fix a lot of issues? Question mark? I guess? I hope? It's definitely better what we have now. Like, the BR is way too cramped. Like, I can't even give examples. Like, I don't even know, but it's just absolute shit. So, and the last point was something that it's me specifically, which is a bit weird. Crew lock. Crew lock is dumb. It is just dumb. And I don't know how to tackle this. I don't know how to tackle this. So what would I wrote crew lock. Instead of constantly punishing players who won't play certain maps or die 1 or 2 times, getting spawn camped with crew lock is just insane. Instead, let the player get one of the following options. Option 1, leave after 1 death, reduce the SL gain. The problem is then we are back at my own point that I listed, that premium players leave. But then again, I think a proper player has a tendency to stay in longer than a premium player, so maybe that kind of out fights it, whatever. Option 2, die 2 times or more, no matter what you can spawn, and leave the match without any punishment. And that is as an example, because I had this a lot. When you drive in, again, let's take Britain as an example, drive in with a challenger, you get like a kill, whatever, get like some points, die. Like, alright, good. Then I spawn the Stormer. Kill a helicopter, kill a jet, whatever, die. So you're 2 times dead, but you could theoretically spawn a helicopter, you could spawn multiple tanks, you could maybe even spawn a plane. But you don't want to. Like, your team is performing shit, you basically feel like you have to carry them. You're just not in the mood anymore, you just want to leave. And then you go back into the hangar and you still get crew locked. Because you could potentially spawn something. That's just absolutely fucking retarded. Like, the crew lock is probably one of the dumbest functions or things that we have in the game. Like, that is actually one of my biggest concerns in this game. I don't have too many problems with the SL. I don't personally have too many problems with the RP. But the crew lock is just absolutely retarded. So that is an... Personally, for me, is pretty high, and with maps. The map design is the highest point in my opinion. Then the premiums, crew lock, the grind. The grind for me personally, as I said, is not too bad because I am already at a certain point, but it definitely needs to be changed for newer people because they just don't. Like, in my friend list, I have... because I'm currently sitting on Steam, I have 16 people that play War Thunder. 16 people. Me included, 17 people. Out of these 17 people, there are 3 people that play constant, or like play pretty often. Like, one has 25 hours recently, one has 16 hours, one has 12. Then you have suddenly one with 4, one with 2, one with 89 minutes, and then the rest doesn't play it anymore. They're listed that they have a game and played it, or it says play previously, but just not playing it anymore. And if I ask them, hey, want to play some War Thunder? The answer is mostly, nah, the game's not fun, the game is shit, the grind is garbage, it's just not fun. And I can't argue with that, because I am 100% on their side. Like, I am... As I said, I played this game 10 years, 5,621 hours. No one can give me my time back. I spent a big chunk of money either on myself, or I bought friends something, or I bought random something for tournament, whatever. I spend a lot of money in this game. And obviously a lot of time, and it's just... I want this game to be good. Like, there is nothing comparable to this. I played World of Tanks, I played Armored Warfare, which are like kind of comparable. I would even kind of throw into the mix Heroes and Generals because of the other game from Gaijin, which I forgot, with the infantry something, whatever, who cares. So these three games I would like kind of put onto the same scale. And the problem is, first of all, World of Tanks. It's very straightforward, but I don't like the health system. I don't like the stealth that you just can't see tanks, even though we have this in War Thunder as well. Like, I don't fucking care what the developer says. I have this on so many clips. They can't say shit about this. The tanks in this game sometimes just disappear, even if you just straight up aim at them. So yeah. Then Armored Warfare is pretty much World of Tanks just in modern, which absolutely doesn't cut it. And then Heroes and Generals, it was a really, really, really fun game. Like, I spent so much time in this game. But they did something what War Thunder is currently going towards, which is they completely destroyed the game with premiums, with sales, with the ability to just straight up buy guns, which they kind of went back and kind of nerfed, which actually brought back a big chunk of the player base. But it's still, like, you could buy a tank crew and then straight up buy a Tiger. You could buy an infantryman and just straight up buy an MG42 and modernize it, or an FG42, an STG, whatever. And obviously players weren't happy with that. And they luckily kind of nerfed it and put it behind levels, etc. But yeah, the damage was already done. And War Thunder is heading this way. I would even say War Thunder is already with one leg inside of it. So, so if people actually went to this point, yay? I don't know. I'm very bad at this kind of stuff. So I'm happy, I guess. I hope that this... I don't know, man. I hope that you kind of take the informations out of it, that maybe Gaijin even stumbles across this video and just looks at it and that just something happens. Like, it's just not fun. Like, the amount of time I thought about just quitting, selling the account is ludicrous. It's absolutely, like, this game put me in very, very dark places and very, very bad moods, and more than often enough into the situation of self-harm, because this game really fucking frustrates me, and my channel is kind of focused about this game, so it's not good. It really needs to be better. Or I need to find a better game. But yeah, I don't know, man. Meh. Just meh. I hope that everyone stays strong and fight against Gaijin. Like, Gaijin, you really, really, really need to wake up. Like, you are destroying this masterpiece of a game. So, good. Bye.